We are the true masters of the Earth sphere.
To them!
Hello and welcome everybody. It is another Too Deaf podcast. It is your boy Sleepwalker, the man who walks through dreams, possibly even yours, and we have made it through the muck and infinite void of the internet to bring you Too Deaf Podcast episode 23. I'd like to introduce my other guests, but I don't. We don't have to. No.
What's understood does not have to be explained.
Just
yo,
guess,
what's up, everybody?
Period. Hey, Shane.
Yo, what's up, everybody? John, a.k.a. Poet. I thought Sleepy forgot his name for a little bit. That was kind of funny.
I do forget my name sometimes, man. I have so many.
But we have made it to the Jordan episode. We're on number 23. Today was going to be our first four-person podcast, but Slug Rock had a call out there last minute, so we're going to ride with just the three of us. And it's going to be fun, guys. What's up? Hey, Shane, it's good to have you back, bro. It's been a while since you've been on the podcast.
I already know, man. I've been complaining too much. I guess you had to get me back on, huh?
Yeah, he's always in chat talking shit. Now you can do it in live person. It's wonderful. This is technology at its best. So, gentlemen, what have you been playing this last week?
Well, I have been playing Cyberpunk.
Yep.
That's the only thing I've been playing is Cyberpunk.
Same.
So it's still Cyberpunk. See, chat? It's all good. See, even though with the bugs, it's still fun. Now, I have been playing Cyberpunk. I did play Cyberpunk on Christmas because I was over Kia's house, and that's the game I had already downloaded there. And it actually worked. I was actually able to get past the bug that I had earlier. So, it's good to know that, I can actually play the game now. And I did enjoy it. But mostly I've been playing Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is really good. And honestly, I think Xbox needs to spend more time making games like that instead of, not doing that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's an excellent game.
Yeah, it truly is. I have to say it's wonderful.
Well, fellas, how was your Christmas and everything? We haven't spoke since Christmas. How did y'all's Christmas go?
Well, who wants to start first? I guess since I'm talking, I'll do it. Might as well.
Go ahead.
Our Christmas was fine, honestly. We didn't. It wasn't there was no kids or anything, so it wasn't like a lot of gift opening or anything. We just kind of woke up whenever we wanted to, and then Kia made breakfast, and then I played Cyberpunk for like 5-6 hours straight or something like that, and then she was making dinner and everything over there. We were all pretty much chilling, doing the adult grown-up thing that people do on their day offs, and then I stopped playing that at dinner and went home. So yeah, that was about me.
That's cool. How about you, Austin?
Hey, it was good. Again, got 4 kids, so Christmas now is always a wild day, especially the cleanup afterwards. But no, it was good. They seemed like they enjoyed everything. They got what they wanted. Aiden got his gaming keyboard, and they both got some money for Xbox. So, ain't nobody complaining.
Awesome. Yeah, I know what you're saying, man. Like, we still are cleaning up. Like, we have a multiple day cleanup. It seems like. But I tell you, our Christmas went really smooth this year. Believe it or not. Like last year, we did 4 Christmases in 3 days. So
yeah.
it was pretty crazy. So with this year, we did Christmas Eve with my mom's side. And then we did my in-laws and my dad, a couple weeks ahead of Christmas. And then on Christmas Day, we had nothing to do, man. We just chilled. And, real relaxing day with the kids. Oh, yeah, man.
We all had to pack up the kids and go to my mom's.
Yeah, see, we've refused to do that. So we've already made the decision that Christmas Day is our day. So if someone wants to come and eat dinner with us on Christmas or something like that, then that's cool. But Christmas Day is reserved for us.
It's so wholesome and family-like, dude. Because I had such a degenerate Christmas, and everybody else was having a wholesome Christmas. And I'm like, I feel like I could be doing better, but I'm not. I'm never going to. I'm just, I feel like I could.
It's all about perspectives, my friend, because you got to sit down and play Cyberpunk for 6 hours on Christmas. I didn't have an opportunity to wipe my ass.
John's putting toys. We're putting toys together and opening boxes and putting toys together, and then they're throwing them over in the side, and then here they come with another box. Well, Dad, I want to play with this.
Right. It's constant on the hunt for batteries and
oh man,
it's
we made sure we bought
like
batteries.
Dad life hard.
hardcore. But so what's
No,
up,
that's
man?
enjoyable.
Did you guys the joy of Christmas when you're a gamer? You're kind of a big kid. Did anybody get any gaming halls? Any good gaming Christmas gifts?
No, I got a jacket with Vegeta printed on the back of it, and
Oh, that's dope.
and it was a hoodie, and I love it. I think I'm sorry, I'm too close to the mic, but I love it. I'm sitting in it right now. I don't really have to. I just kind of doing it because like why not? Why not wear Vegeta on your back all the time? That's kind of how I feel.
He's sitting in his computer chair right now wearing nothing but a jacket.
Saying Prince, bruh. That's what I'm talking about. But no, that's pretty much all I got. And then I got Keo some boots and some what's it called? Wireless headphones and stuff like that. I mean, it's really all we traded. There wasn't a lot of big gifts. But once again, without kids, there's not a lot of gifts you give back. It's because as adults, you give each other like one good gift. You know, like one, like, hey, no, this is nice. Now, you know, like, but you know, the kids, you got to get them stuff. But when you're an adult, just give me some boots. I'll get like, you know, like a jacket or some shit like that, and we're fine. You know, it's a very peaceful Christmas.
Yeah. What about you, Austin? Man, did you get any gaming halls in this year?
Man, not really, because a lot of times I'll usually get games as they come out. Yeah, I'm not really a waiter or nothing like that, but I am due to receive my Oculus Quest 2s on January 21st, so I've been kind of saving some money back because, man, I got to buy games for a VR headset now.
Hell yeah, that's awesome, dude. Definitely, we'll have to save that. We'll have to use that for some events in the future.
I feel like
Yeah, so that,
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I feel like
because you were saying something about Beat Saber, so what's up?
I feel like VR is one of those things that I wish that, you know, more people had like a good development with, because a lot of times I feel like VR games are just kind of gimmicky games. You know, almost like indie games where it's just like a single thing that you do that's pretty fun, but it's really all that you can do. And I like Half-Life Alexia. That was probably like the only real like
that Darth Vader game looks dope.
That looks dope too.
Yeah, well,
right?
they got an app. You can look at the games on your phone, and it's called the Oculus. And I'd be surprised. There's this one game I'm really gonna look into, and it's called Onwards. And it looked pretty good, but you're tactical. You're basically like a tactical team, like SEAL Team 6, and you got to tactically move in and like, you know, search and destroy or search and rescue. And like and it's an online multiplayer game. Like you have to co-op with like people, you know, and all that stuff, tacticals, and it looked amazing.
And it was virtual virtual set, right?
For VR and everything.
Yeah.
And like John was saying, then you have the Star Wars, which the Star Wars also looks awesome. I mean, I'm afraid here soon I'm gonna start whacking people in the head as I'm trying to like run across the room and not realizing it. Because all right, so with VR, and it's weird because I did play it. The first time I played it was on PlayStation because I get motion sickness and like car sickness and everything, and I just wanted to make sure I could play it before, you know, anything.
So make sure you're not vomiting while you play it.
Yes, or passing out or having a damn seizure or you know.
But
dude, it's the greatest freaking experience that you have video game wise. Like, even though the sound was coming from the TV, I still felt like the sound was right in my ears.
Like,
Definitely the most immersive you can get. I mean,
yes.
my nephews have it, and I was watching a video of them playing this game, and you like walk up to like the side of a building or some shit, and you're looking down, and it feels like you're standing on the real side of a building.
yeah.
And when like one of them would come up and kind of like gently push them from behind, and they felt like they were falling off the building. You know what I mean? So it was just like, oh wow. Kind of plays the trick on your senses.
That's crazy. It's like when they had Resident Evil 7 on the virtual reality, and they said playing Resident Evil 7 and putting on the headset and walking down the hallway is a totally different experience because it's like you're actually in this decrepit house walking down the hallway, and it's just like, oh my god, it's like 10 times more frightening. I can see how that's a good. They just need to work the controls out because those controls be whack.
With the development now with VR, though, as you can see, a lot of places, a lot of people are starting to come up with things for the VR. So now they got this new device, and you put it on the bottom of your feet, and you just sit down when it connects to your VR system. Well, what it does is it gives you that movement of you walking. So you're sitting down, and like there's these like little rollers on the bottom of the platform. So you're actually kind of like walking. Down or sliding, evading to the left or evading to the right. And
that's good because that's always been a thing. Because usually, you have the invisible, that kind of wavy hands in front of you and shit like that, and kind of substituting that with your feet so you can do the movement and everything. Kind of alleviates some of the problems it's had because a lot of times, to move, they'll have you like throw something and you teleport to the spot or something like that, gimmicky to get there instead of just straight up movement. So that's dope. I can't wait to see somebody actually make a straight up game. Just a game that's exclusively for it and made like with depth. I can't wait.
That's how that Darth Vader game looks.
Yeah, well that's episodes too. So it's different episodes of it, but then there's another Star Wars game. I forgot the name, but I was more interested in too is the Star Trek game.
Trek.
It's VR Star Trek.
I haven't seen that one yet.
But you're the captain and everything, and you got to go explore and help your team out and all that other stuff. All the reviews I've read on it, it's like completely immersible, like controls on the computer you got to do and all that stuff.
Unless I can get into a boxing match with Q, I don't want it. I don't care. I want to get into a boxing match with Q. That's the only thing I care about.
No, if you want, you can sit there and you can have a bar fight. They got bar fight simulator. You can throw darts at people, stab them with broken bottles.
Bar fight simulator.
Bar fights. But can I do it with Q though?
I don't know.
Like there you go.
You want to box somebody? Play that Creed game.
Well, I will say that I hate to rub it in, fellas, but I had a very big haul for Christmas on the video game front. Wife spoiled me as usual. I got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Immortals Phoenix Rising, and I actually bought a PlayStation 4. Coming over to the dark side a little bit. Already kind of got my game roster up a little bit for it too.
See, John's real old school. With PlayStation 5 out, he went on and got the 4.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get the Series X when it comes out, but I be shady. Like I'm really salty. I'm like salty all the time because I can't play the Xbox exclusive. I mean the PlayStation exclusive. So I end up getting the last. I end up getting The Last of Us, Neo 2, God of War.
You had to get Spider-Man.
I got Spider-Man. Then I'm gonna get Uncharted.
Was it Horizon Zero Dawn?
In Horizon Zero Dawn. Yep, those are the 6 games I got for it. So, and I got all those on almost all of those on sale at GameStop with a gift card. So like I got Neo 2 and The Last of Us for free.
Yeah, that's dope, bro. And those are good games. Those are like games that are gonna last you for a while. Neo 2 is something you can do like several times. You can make a build and stuff like that. And The Last of Us 1 is a really good story. It's something that I would say everybody do at least once. For The Last of Us 1. And then, maybe you want to do The Last of Us 2 to see if it really does suck as much as everybody says as it does.
Well, it feels good now. Now I've always never been able to really justify it, having all the systems. I mean, hell, I don't hardly have time to play as it is. But, now I have quite the backlog because I'm not going to start anything new until I beat Cyberpunk, and then I'll beat Valhalla, and then I'll start it. Then I'll start in on some of those PlayStation games. So I want to play.
You ain't going to beat it. So when you talk about beating Cyberpunk, are you talking about beating it with one life path, or are you talking about beating it with all 3 life paths?
Oh, no. Just my one life path. I've already, we talked about in the previous podcast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish my Nomad life path, which I'm roughly about halfway through right now. And then I'm going to put it up for a while until I get my Series X. I haven't personally had as many, bugs out of mine personally, just kind of aesthetically, aesthetic problems or whatever. Nothing big like Sleepy's had. But I'm just gonna finish out I'm not trying to 100 and do all the side missions and do all that either. I'm gonna play through it, do as many side missions as I can, and then once I finish the main story, I beat the game. I'll put it up to like the Series X, and I'll probably come back and do Street Kid like that after that.
And I'm there at the end. I'm there at the last mission where it says like this, this is the point of no return. And I was like, oh nah, fuck that. I'm like, no, I want to return. So I was like, up, turn around, dipped, start doing like every little damn mission I could find. Even like I don't even fast travel no more. I'm just sitting there just running. And if I come across like somebody getting beat up or something, I'm like, all right, dip. Help! I'm like the vigilante of I'm like the street kid vigilante of freaking Night City. Like, this is my fucking city, y'all. Ain't no gangs in this shit but me.
It's like, I am the night, and he just starts hitting people and shit like that. Like, and I wish I could play games in such a manner where I just play them until they're done and then start the next one. I don't think I've ever been capable of that, because I'll like be playing the game. And usually it's hard for me to beat a game, because if it's like hours and hours and hours, I get like my ADD kicks in and I'm like, all right, so what's this next one over here and shit like that. And Cyberpunk having that, what's it called, that error that it couldn't play, just stunted my progress in it altogether, because I'm like, well, now I'm playing another game, so maybe I'll come back to you. It's kind of, I just wish I was like that. I could just finish it.
Well, Cyberpunk has been like, to me, I had that problem. I had that problem with Witcher. I even had that problem with Red Dead Redemption, where I felt like there were just kind of too many options. The side quests and the main story were kind of blurred, and it was kind of hard to tell what where you're at or whatever. But with Cyberpunk, bro, like I'm having a blast. I'll go through in any like gangsters on the street when they show, like when they see, if they see me and run up and try to fight, I'm killing them all. I'm not even like trying to like run from, like I'm
walk by somebody that got a yellow thing above their head. Well, you dying.
Yeah, you're dead. So
and I'll be across the street.
Blast, bro.
And it's funny because I'll be across the street like quick hacking them and just watching the shit spread and like laugh because of the last dude will kill himself, just like didn't know it was coming.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I wanted to kind of get your take on this, Austin, because you've been one of the biggest cyberpunk connoisseurs of all of us. And last podcast, of course, we kind of cut it short because of some technical difficulties, but it was all about cyberpunk,
which we're not having. We're not having those same technical difficulties. Give us a hand, please.
Yes.
No, but go ahead.
I love the game, man. I
want to give you an opportunity to kind of weigh in, Austin, because we got a whole episode last time to talk about it, and I really want to hear kind of what you're thinking about it.
Yeah, I can make it quick, but I love the game.
Yeah, I do. Bugs?
Yeah, here and there. I mean, but then again, it's not breaking the game down or nothing like that. I mean, there's times I'll sit there and pause the game. The kids will sit there and watch, like, an hour or 2 hours of something on TV, and I'll turn around and go right back to the game. It'll still be left on the pause screen. And I'm playing for another 3-4 hours. Now, the only real bug I have is that I noticed, and then again, it's probably just the Xbox. It's when, like, I'm running and I'm doing kind of multiple stuff, and then as the game is still trying to render the picture and it saves at the same, auto saves at the same time, then that's when I'll have a crash.
The frame rate dips so low, yeah.
Yeah, well,
so then I'll just slow down. I just walk, let it save, and it doesn't do it no more.
Well, see, like my bugs that I've had on mine, and I have, and we kind of talked about this last podcast, so I don't mean to be redundant, but I have a day one Xbox. Like, literally, like the week it came out, I don't have the Xbox One SX or whatever. I just had the day one, and mine's been fine. I've had some aesthetic bugs, people taking drinks from cups that aren't there, or I
ain't worried about that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think that's kind of stuff's funny. I came from the era where bugs were normal, but I've had a few like where people, like, I was in a Nomad, and when I was coming into town, obviously the cops already hate you or whatever, but these two guys were like sitting on top of each other with no car, but they were on top of each other looking like they were driving. And so I went around them and didn't hit them at all, but it registered that I had hit them. So like literally within just a few seconds of being in the game, I was already on a cop chase. I was like, "Fuck!" But besides that, it really hasn't given me any issues. I know Sleepy has some pretty fun.
I have to say, ever since the patches that have been put into it, I have very few issues on my Christmas Day run. So like nothing crashed. I think it crashed once actually, and there was like stutters in the frame rate, but that was about all. And it didn't happen super often, and all the missions worked. So I think the patch actually did do quite a good amount. I think a lot of people are just like, I feel like a lot of people just have it out for Cyberpunk now, so they're just in the game to hate it now.
Man, people are just too complaining these times too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand both ends of it, but then a game's a game, and a lot of games now are, because they are pushing limits, are going to have flaws because we might not have that. They might not have that code to fix that problem yet because they didn't know it persisted.
Mm-hmm. A lot of gamers don't understand. I like the complexity of what it takes to put like a working, well-defined world. Yeah, and a world, several models that are
They're
supposed
putting ones and zeros and making a world for you all. Come on.
Yeah, and it takes a lot to, just for every single model to look at least somewhat detailed and to have its own action, to be doing its own thing in a city of other models that are doing that. It's a lot, and I think a lot of gamers are just kind of like, I think being quarantined for so long and people just kind of cooped up, people are just mad at shit. So it's just like they want to be mad at that shit, like they're just taking a crusade against Cyberpunk. But I honestly feel that the game in itself is just, it's a good game, and it has flaws. And I believe that the corporate, CEOs of CD Projekt Red probably let that shit go a little too early. But it's a good game.
Well, I think it just got more criticism because it was more highly anticipated than a lot of games. I mean, a lot of games that came out that is, an open world, a lot of them has been glitchy and has bugs. I mean, yeah, the games where it solely has a one purpose of something, they're not going to be glitchy because guess what? It's a one-lane track.
Yeah.
But when you got a damn video game that's a tree,
It's true.
Well, let me play devil's advocate just for a little bit, and first off, I love Cyberpunk. I've been putting every chance I can play, I'm on it. But I will say that CD Projekt Red, and I totally get that games are going to have bugs. It's to be expected, especially of the caliber and the size of Cyberpunk. But it's very apparent to me that the people at CD Projekt Red, they made this game for high-end PCs. I feel like the developers didn't even do a fucking playthrough on an Xbox or on a PlayStation.
No, they wanted the highest quality.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like they didn't even do a playthrough because I understand, it's like you said. I mean, come on, what do you expect these people to turning zeros into ones into a beautiful game? I totally agree with that. But at the same time, I'm driving down the street and I'm seeing like huge traffic down the street, and I'm like, oh shit, there's a traffic jam. But as I get closer, the cars just disappear. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, hey, that's good for you.
Well, right.
A lot of times I'm driving down the street, cars run out in front of me.
Or just fall out of the sky, right? Yeah. So it's just, to me, it shows that it's like they didn't even have a playthrough to be able to tell where the problems are on the console versions. Like on the everybody that I know who has it on PCs, they're all loving it. They're saying I'm not having any issues at all. So
I think
it's really just the console version.
I think a lot of those issues also, there's a difference between the development team and then the marketing team. And then the people who are basically saying yay or nay whether something drops or not. The development team basically is working what they're given with, and I think a lot of people have gone on to think of blaming the development team instead of the actual leadership, who are the people who made the mistake. They're the people who misled people because the development team is simply just working on what they've been given.
Well, and like John said too, they might have not ever tested it on a last gen because for them to get the game that they wanted, they had to run it at a higher spec than anything.
Exactly. I mean, it's probably a game that couldn't even be made on last gen hardware but on high end hardware, and then be ported to last gen hardware, and then try to make it fit inside this little case that shouldn't be fitting it. It's definitely like a lot of decisions were bad, but I think within CD Projekt Red, people need to be a little bit nuanced and understand that it is the cats at the top, not the guys who were making the game. The guys who were making the game probably wanted to work on it longer, but the guys at the top are the ones that said it had to go out.
Oh, well, they were forcing. They forced their workers to work like 6 days a week, 10-hour days and shit. Like
Exactly.
Right around the holidays. They were forcing stuff on people, and that's kind of what we touched on last podcast. For me, is that CD Projekt Red has really earned the benefit of the doubt for me because of how fan friendly they've been, how gamer friendly they've been, the quality
How
of
they
games
fix
they put out.
things quickly.
Right. They really have earned that benefit of the doubt. But with this game in particular, it's very apparent the shady practices that's happening.
You know they got
they refused. They refused to show any of the console videos on the previews. If you were a streamer who were previewing the game, you weren't allowed to do it if you had a console. They only allowed high spec PCs to do it. They purposely did shady things coming up to the lead up of this game. So it's kind of like, even though they've earned that benefit of the doubt, it's kind of like, come on, bro, really?
Let me ask. Go ahead.
And you got marketing teams, you got sales teams, you got the pitch teams, you got all these different teams that are doing something probably solely completely different, and they might not even been on the same page with none of this shit.
Well, let me ask you a question then. Like, how do y'all feel about the class action lawsuit going forward?
Well, I mean, I think I read the article just the other day that CD Projekt Red is revving up to fight it to the extreme, like they're going Johnny Cochran on them. So,
how do you feel about it?
I think it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
I think that's literally like Coca-Cola coming out with a new flavor soda and they hype it up and you go get it and it tastes nasty. So you're like, hey, fuck you, I'm suing you. It's kind of like,
that is true.
Come on, bro. Like,
all these dumb people's wanting a refund on their Cyberpunk, but wanting to keep the damn game.
Oh, I know. It's so silly.
I think it's bullshit too. Like, honestly, suing these people, like because it's not gonna fall on the people it should fall on. It's gonna fall on the people that were working. It's gonna fall on the workers. It's not gonna fall on the management. It's not gonna fall on the
it's like I said last time. How EA did with Anthem.
Mm-hmm.
Like Anthem was beautiful. Like the game was beautiful, but it was just too repetitive. But people complained about the graphics of it and the mechanics of it. It was like there's nothing wrong with the mechanics. It's just that you're just doing the same damn shit.
Yeah.
Through the whole game.
People's going to complain about anything, bro. It doesn't matter what the hell it is. That's just the nature of our society these days.
That's what I was saying earlier, though. Too is, but Anthem, it looked beautiful because there was only one sole thing to do.
Right. But for me, I understand that people are going to complain. People are going to be polarized, and they're going to raise stinks about stuff. But you're taking it to a whole new level when you're trying to soothe people. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
it's way too far for a video game because it's like I can understand maybe like within the company of like certain people suing their leadership or investors, they deserve to sue them because they were basically abused for months trying to make this freaking game. So if the company or the the development team itself wanted to sue its leadership or any investors or people who were pushing it or whatever that happened, I would understand. But like other people suing the company, like gamers suing the company, that seems like crazy. It's like
it seems ridiculous.
It seems dystopian, honestly, because it's like, bruh, like you can't, now you make a bad game, you might get sued, bruh.
Right. If you make a game that people don't like, and it's not even just the bugs. I mean, people are complaining about everything. So, and I've heard people complaining at links, making entire YouTube videos about complaining about how Johnny Silverhand is the most dry character in the game. And I'm like, really? You just made a 45-minute video about this? Like I don't know.
They sit there and watch them and like listen and like the different options you have with how different he turns out to be too.
Mm-hmm. Like
he can be an asshole, but then be your best friend.
Yeah, but like I think what we all have to understand is that the main basis of it is that Keanu Reeves is a bad actor, and every time you believe he's a good actor, you set yourself up for disappointment because he's not, and he's never been. He's a good action star. He's good
He's
at.
he's a bad actor that's always in good movies.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
the funny thing, he wasn't acting. It was just voice.
Yeah, which is even worse because like, but still, the thing is, Keanu Reeves, what's it called? John Wick, wonderful, great movie. Why?
Doesn't have to say nothing.
Exactly, because for 3 movies he says a paragraph. As soon as they let him talk, like, that shit goes,
my dog.
But no, that's my tirade of it. Yeah, he's a bad actor. That's why he's the worst character. So I'm just letting you know.
No. It's true. It's true. He's just such an awesome human being too, though. That's what
Exactly. He's a great guy. It's just like, I'd like everybody wanted him to be Constantine again, and I'm like, stop that. Stop saying that. That's stupid. That's stupid. Don't do that.
Well, guys, I will say this, moving on from Cyberpunk a little bit. 2020 has been a hell of a year, guys. I don't know about y'all, but it's been a mixed bag for me. It's probably been the worst year of my life. A lot of stuff's been going on, so we're definitely looking forward to moving on to the new year, man. What are y'all's New Year's plans, Austin? What do you got planned for New Year's?
Seeing what round 2 has to offer. No, we're gonna have a little thing here again with the family and everything. We got a couple friends coming over and everything, and we're just gonna have like little snacks. We got that Pictionary Air we're gonna try out and play. That seemed like it'd be a pretty fun game. And then been doing family games lately, like what Meme Me Family and stuff, and or How Do You Mean?
Oh yeah, or What Do You Mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. But man, it's just I don't know.
It's like
kind of
it's like Cards Against Humanity, but with memes.
Yeah, well, my mind's too messed up, and I can't make messed up things like Card Against Humanity. But I have to remember, I'm playing with the kids, so. But no, we got a board game, so I mean that's what our New Year's Eve's going to be. Jackie's off. We're going to go shopping a little bit, just her and I tomorrow, and then just come home and hang out the rest of the night with the family. Probably do a couple fireworks at midnight, and
yeah. But yeah, man, I got to work tomorrow, but we're Sleepy's coming over and Michelle, and I think we're going to have a kid-friendly New Year's this year. I have little drinks, little something too. But I think what we're going to do is I'm going to bust out my PlayStation for the first time. I haven't even turned it on yet. And I think me and Sleep's going to stream some on New Year's Eve. So details have yet to be worked out, but we're probably going to run some Last of Us 2 most likely.
Later on down the road, you plan on getting that VR system for the PlayStation 4?
I don't know. We'll see.
PSVR is probably the cheapest VR you can get.
Yeah, it's definitely true. I mean, I'm going to see how often. I mean, like I said, I have such a backlog of games at the moment. And, all these backlogs of games that I'm talking about also doesn't even account for the fact that I haven't been on fucking Call of Duty and played with my boys in a while. So,
yeah, I haven't either.
I mean, you better get on it because we're about to have a tournament, Anonymous Plug.
Yes, sir.
My son's my teammate, so I'm good. I ain't got to get no kills.
Y'all killed it last time, bro. It was impressive.
Well, come out this time, also Anonymous Plug.
Yeah, so y'all don't forget, register.
Yeah,
to the page for the link.
January 8th. But so since it's the end of the year, this is our last stream of the year. We're going to be ringing in a new year in 2021. We're hoping that it's going to be infinitely better than 2020. But there's a lot of good games coming out next year. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today, guys, is what are your most we could start with one game. I'm sure we're going to elaborate. So what's your most anticipated game of 2021?
I'd have to say, like, a lot of people think it would be God of War 2, right? But it's actually Biomutant. I am just hoping to God that it comes out. That it actually comes. It's like a legend. It's a fable now. It's something that they say in whispered tones in the back alleys of like hives and villainy, bruh. Of the tale of Biomutant, a game that looks so freaking good. But will it come out? Will it? That's what I'm asking myself, and honestly, I hope it does.
I haven't even heard of that.
You haven't heard of Biomutant? No, you probably haven't. It's one of those games that it came out with a good trailer, like it was like 4 or 5 years ago at like E3, and then it's had like trailers ever since. But it's always supposed to come out that year and never does.
Is that a PlayStation exclusive?
I don't think it is. I think it might just be a multi-plat game. It just looks so cool. Everything about it looks amazing and cool, and I would love it to come out, but I just we'll see.
Fair enough. What about you, Austin?
Man, I'm kind of interested in how the new Far Cry 6 is going to turn out.
Oh yeah, that looks very promising.
Looks so good.
Yeah, I played the past ones, and I mean, I love the story and everything, and again, that's.
And this one's got Moff Gideon.
Yeah, this one's
Well,
going to be.
I will.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should be good. I mean, they've pushed it back as well, but I'm very
How many
interested in
games
that
then
as well.
you all think are going to get pushed back due to the backlash from Cyberpunk
All of them.
coming into the new year?
Every single game. Like all everybody who has a stake in the game is gonna push it back if they're not sure. Now, Sony's different. Sony's not gonna release things they're not ready to release. They'll never do that because they're smart enough to know that their exclusives have basically gained prestige, and people think their exclusives are always going to be at least top notch graphically and performance wise. So they're probably never going to do that. But everyone else, they're probably going to wait, except for EA. They're not going to care.
Well, I think it's definitely possible. So for me personally, my most anticipated game, just straight up, I would have to say it's going to be Halo Infinite. I'm a huge Halo fan. It's no secret. Halo is what brought me to consoles from computers a long time ago. I am so pumped for that game. I've been waiting for a good Halo title to come out for years. I would say that it probably would have been God of War Ragnarok before that, but the fact that God of War is only coming out on the PS5 and I won't have a PS5, so only way I'm going to be able to play that's on Sleepy's PS5 or somebody else's PS5 or whatever. So, given that, I'm going to say that my most anticipated game is going to be Halo Infinite. But I have a list of ones that that I have my eye on that I'm just so interested on.
What about you?
Hey, I'm waiting for a good Halo game. Come on. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I liked Halo 4. I like the different multiplayer things like the firefight, and then Halo 5. What was it? The big war zone time and all that. Had to overtake the bases and all that. And I mean, that big, ground war type stuff for me is fun. Sometimes I don't just like sitting there and it's just 4-on-4, bop, bop, bop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Something like the
I
old
like the
Resistance.
more objective type with the Halo.
It's kind of like the old Resistance. Remember how they had 30 player death matches or something crazy and stuff like that, and they just had a big I remember Resistance 2 had a 60 versus 60.
Oh wow!
60 versus 60, with team deathmatch, and that shit was crazy. And honestly, a match would last an hour. It was.
Well, in the Halo, man, it's all about the story, and then bringing Master Chief back. That's going to be what the story is going to be like. Thrilling, like John said, he was there from the beginning. You'd say Master Chief, John would be like, "Hey, I know him," but he'd be like, "Who the hell is Master Chief?"
I have to say that when I saw the new pictures of Halo, that were released of the current more polished product, I was impressed. It looks a lot better. It looks.
Johnson. Go ahead, my bad.
No, it looks better. It's not. It looks more like it should be looking.
Bro,
Well, John,
Austin, I don't
Halo
even
Lord.
I don't even call him Master Chief, bro. It's John 117 to me, bro.
I was about to say, man, being the Halo Lord, tell us, man, what's up? You already know.
Yeah, man, I do know, man. Halo's my game. You can ask Sleepy about the hell that I brought to the pre-haul back in the day on Halo 2, bro. Nobody wanted
I almost beat you.
it. Shit, almost though. Did you?
Yeah, I almost did, but you know how I just stopped caring after a while. Like,
No, but no, but I was the man in Halo 2.
he was.
And I, this one really has me excited. I know a lot of people are giving it grief already. Halo fans, much like Cyberpunk fans, are just toxic as hell. You're never going to make them happy. People are calling it Halo 1 with the grappling hook. But you know what? They say it like it's a negative, but for me, it's a good thing. I think Halo Infinite is going to be awesome. Halo's never, if you're a true Halo fan, bro, like, it's never been about the graphics for you. You know what I mean? So it's not, people are giving all this grief about, and they do look much improved. But Halo,
shit, he was always a red and blue team too. So I mean, shit.
Right. Halo's not about the most realistic looking graphics or all of this kind of stuff. It's about the gameplay, and it's just the funnest first person shooter that I've ever played. I can't think of another first person shooter that's as fun as Halo is, and so I really have a lot of faith for Halo Infinite. I will say that 343 is nothing on the old Bungie days. But I'm hoping that they get it together for this one. I am worried that this is going to be one of those games that will take note of this whole Cyberpunk release, and they might push it back even further because it's slated right now for the fall of 2021. So, I wouldn't be shocked if it doesn't get pushed back to the spring of 2022 or something, just to give them a little bit more time. But
I mean,
I won't even be mad at it, bro. I won't even be mad at it.
Hopefully, Xbox would make that decision. Like, especially after seeing Cyberpunk, Xbox would actually, take their time and, get out a solid product, because any more than anything, Xbox just needs a solid game that's their game, not everyone else's game.
Well, I will say, speaking of anticipated games in 2021 and of Xbox games, I'll tell you the other one that I'm super pumped about is The Medium. We saw that on the Xbox showcase that came out. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's kind of like a dueling world. You get to see them both at the same time. It just looks so dope. And it's going to be free on the Game Pass. So, I mean, that's definitely something. Xbox has some exclusives coming out that we saw at the game show or whatever, the latest showcase for Xbox. That they're going to be having a lot of exclusives coming out. They're really stepping their game up with all the acquisitions of all the different studios. Mm-hmm. And, I'm very optimistic about the future of Xbox exclusives. But, yeah, The Mediums is another one that I'm just, like, super pumped about for 2021.
Yeah, Medium looks like Resident Sleeper, bro. It just looks like the Sleeper, bro. It just looks... It looks so boring.
Let me check your bias real quick.
It does. It looks like a sleeper though. It's nothing like.
Let's just be honest though. If that game was coming out on a PlayStation, you would be like, "It's the most groundbreaking game ever. It's gonna change people's lives."
I'm not gonna know, because I've never been about that like on any game, bro. And also it would still look like a sleeper. Like if PlayStation made it, it would make it even more of a sleeper, because they could do better.
This guy.
It looks boring. It looks like,
I think it looks dope as shit.
I'm like, all right.
I would say Avowed, but I don't think that's coming out until 2022 either. That's going to be another Xbox exclusive
that looks dope. Now that looks dope. That was pretty hype. I wish they showed actual gameplay, because that looked pretty hype.
Well, I'll tell you, I have a little list that I made when we were talking about coming up with anticipated games in 2021. And some of them we've already talked about. But it kind of opened up the conversation, what you guys think about them. First is obviously Halo Infinite, God of War Ragnarok, Far Cry 6, The Medium, and then my last two is Resident Evil Village and Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide.
Is the Dark Tide the one that's more like It's like Vermintide?
It's a first-person shooter.
Yeah, it's like Vermintide, where it's like a horde kind of, where like you're fighting a horde of people, right?
Right.
Yeah, that looks dope. Also, what was the game you said before that?
Resident Evil Village.
I'm not a big Resident Evil fan. I'm just gonna be real with you. I'm not. So I'd check it out, but I'm just not a big Resident Evil fan.
Me neither.
Well, I grew up loving Resident Evil games, man. Me and Matt, we played, 1 through 3 religiously, all the way to Nemesis or whatever. For this one, I played Biohazard. It was one of these kind of random games I got on Game Pass, and I enjoyed it, but it was just completely different. It felt like Sekiro or something. It was like you had to hide and sneak the whole game.
Well, I feel like it's more like a what's it called? Survival horror, because usually in like the Resident Evil's past 4, you're a little bit more powerful. You can shoot them, you can rev it. And this, they wanted to make you feel more helpless.
Right. But I think Village is going to be kind of a hybrid of the two ways, from what I've read. Is that it's going to kind of take some from Biohazard, but it's also kind of going to bring it back, to the roots of Resident Evil. So it definitely, I'm excited for it.
That's a perfect stream game. That's a perfect stream game. Like something like that. Like if you wanted to stream that, I'd be totally down for that. I wouldn't play it myself though.
Well, I'll probably play it. I don't think I'm going to go and pre-order it and pay $60 for it when it first comes out, but I'm excited for it. I want to see what it's about, because I know you guys aren't, but I'm a fan of the Resident Evil series. The only thing a Resident Evil's put out that I haven't liked is the movies.
Oh my god! Like it's like the person who made the movie actually has never played the game.
I feel that way too.
Yeah, like I feel that way about a lot. Hey, speaking of that, speaking of Amelia Jovovich, anybody ever see the Monster Hunter movie?
I've seen previews for it, but I haven't actually seen the movie.
Me neither. I have to know. Is it as bad as I think it is?
Isn't it only in theaters, or can you stream it?
I don't know. I think it might be only in theaters, but you know how that is. It's probably.
I didn't think it was out yet.
Yeah, there's been reviews, so I was assuming that it's been.
I think it came out when Cyberpunk came out.
Yeah, obviously that's going to overshadow it, but I'm pretty sure it might be out, but I just have to see, because it's like I don't understand how Monster Hunter could ever be a movie, and they're probably going to show me why it shouldn't be.
Well, I wonder if that chick's ever even played video games, or is she a video game fan, or is she like a scorned woman who like had a boyfriend or husband who played video games all the time, so now she's like dedicating her acting career to going ruining all the video games,
ruining every video. Like I'm going to be in Silent Hill next, bitch. No.
Like look at what Fifth Element and everything she was in.
Fifth Element was good though.
Video gamey though.
That was a good movie.
I like Fifth Element though. Like it is cheesy. If you watch it now, it's a little cheesy. Right? It is cheesy, but like it's still like a good, enjoyable movie. But Monster Hunter it doesn't sound like, even if it was like what's his name, Anthony Hopkins in there instead of her, it still would sound like a bad movie.
I think it has potential. Hell, especially if you take the Monster Hunter World version of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know some of the other Monster Hunters, man, like they're very Japanese and they're very kind of odd.
Mm-hmm.
But like Monster Hunter World is a dope ass game, and I think that it sounds perfect for a show or a movie. You're walking around hunting down dragons and monsters, and
but true, but like
taking a parties, you're just capturing a parties.
Yeah, but like the whole game is like beating up on the same monster to get a matching weapon and armor. So like you're gonna have to make a whole movie off of one hunt, which could be dope. Actually, that could be really dope now that I think about it. But they didn't do that. They didn't do any of that.
Yeah, I don't have faith they did that either. But, it has potential. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. You know what? I'll agree it does have potential, because now that I think about it, you in like a Predator style, like find man against survival kind of thing like that, that does sound pretty dope.
Yeah. Well, moving on, guys. This is something that we actually have had docked for probably 3 podcasts now that we've never gotten to. But what brings it to me is that at work today, I actually set my eyes for the first time in actual real life on a PlayStation 5. And this fucking thing is a behemoth, bro. This thing it's huge. Like I had no idea that it was.
They got a display at Walmart.
that it's as giant as it was. Like, I had no idea. Like, it's like the size of a suitcase, bro. It's ridiculous. But we're talking about the Cyberpunk, releases, and with all the bugs that it's had and all the issues that it's had. To me, this is something that is probably a symptom of a bigger problem in the gaming industry right now. Is the state of gaming in the middle of a pandemic. Just for instance, when the Switch came out, you could have walked into the store and just bought one, right?
Yeah.
There was no backlog. That's how my Xbox was. When I went and bought that Xbox, I went on the week it was released and bought it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like just walked in the store and bought it. But in the middle of this pandemic, Switches suddenly became impossible to get your hands on. And now here we are with the PlayStation and the Xbox releases.
Yeah.
Impossible to get your hands on. And I know a lot of people are blaming, all these piece of shit scalpers and these bots they're using or whatever. And they are, pieces of shit. And if you're a scalper and you're listening to the show, go ahead and unlike 2 fuck you. But I don't think that's the problem. I think those people have always existed, and maybe they're getting more efficient at what they're doing. But the problem is the lack of supply and the lack of whatever it is, whether people are working from home now or whatever it is. But COVID's really kind of brought the gaming industry to its knees more than what I anticipated. Because I really thought it was, gaming was going to be the perfect industry to thrive in the middle of quarantine.
They said scalpers is making more money off of a unit than the actual company was making off of a unit.
Oh, I guarantee it. They're buying 20 at a time and selling them for double, triple the worth. You know what I mean?
Look, that one that tried to get an order 1,000 and then the company canceled the order. But honestly, you would think if you're gonna do things virtually, because PlayStation wanted to do it virtually, you would think that you would make stores put a 1 to 2 item limit on it, meaning you could only buy 1 or 2.
Oh, like they do for toilet paper or or White Owls, motherfucker. When was the last time you try to go to the store and buy a White Owl? You can only buy 1 at a time.
Yeah, I got a controller for the Wii that's like a PlayStation controller. They would only let me buy 1 at a time, but for some reason they'll let you buy the PlayStation 5 at 100 at a time, as if that doesn't look weird.
Yeah,
they got these bots that automatically do it for you. So you have to click on it, add it to your cart. Well, yeah, you got a person has to click on it, add it to their cart, put in their credit card information, put in their billing information, and then by the time you hit OK, it's already been sold out from underneath of you. Because these bots are designed to go ahead and just auto-populate all this information, buy them. But to me, the bots and the scalpers aren't really the issue. I've never seen, and bugs and issues are always going to be part of the gaming industry. They just are. It's part of it. But I have never seen in my lifetime a system be released with so many fundamental problems as the Series X and the PlayStation 5 that came out with. I mean, some of them are straight up turning into bricks. It's crazy.
Yeah, the higher the technology, the more likely you're going to have stuff like this happening. But it does seem like they were all underprepared. They were all unfinished and underprepared. They wanted to come out. They thought it would be good during a pandemic, but they also were affected by the pandemic and didn't have enough of their resources out, didn't have enough of the testing going through, just things that, they thought they might not need, and then they ended up, yes, they do need them. Yeah, you're right. COVID is, it's really brought the gaming industry down to its knees, even though it's doing better than every other industry, because every other industry is literally dying. Like movies dying. But the gaming industry, it's doing a lot better, but it's really stopped a lot of progress.
Well, I will agree that a lot of them are dying. I'm not sure, the movie industry is not dying as much as the theater industry is.
True. The theaters.
They're adjusting to the online format and streaming and all that. Warner Brothers deal with HBO Max and all.
Well, let's correct ourselves. Disney is not dying. The movie industry and probably movies, but Disney is not, which is basically movies now.
Well, for instance, they've all had their own special kind of bugs, but with the Series X, all the bugs that I've seen are straight up just stuff not working. and it's different for everyone. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing with Cyberpunk. It's so odd to me that, you know, usually from my experience of the past, and I know it's a brave new world these days, but from my history in the past, if something has a bug, it's pretty universal. You know, pretty much everyone has the same bug. It's going up. But what's weird to me is that, you know, these Series X's and these PlayStation 5s and even the Cyberpunks, they're all like, every person is experiencing different bugs.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't quite understand that. Like, I don't, like, some people buy Series X and their Xbox Live and their Kinect work fine.
Mm-hmm.
Some people buy it and none of that shit works.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't understand what's the disparity between each person and why each Series X or each copy of Cyberpunk is affecting people differently. Maybe I'm just ignorant to the technology behind it, but to me, it just doesn't make no sense. You know, I feel like most bugs would be like, oh yeah, this bug is on level 5 at this point. Everybody's experiencing this bug. You know, to me, that's understandable.
Yeah.
That's like, you know, that's just something that they missed when they were doing their stuff. But with this, it's like, you know, I'm playing on a regular, I'm playing with a regular Xbox, and it's pretty much just been aesthetic bugs. Sleevy's playing on PS5, all of a sudden his whole thing's locked up. He can't even progress in the story. So it's just like, I don't know, it's just very odd to me the way that these bugs are happening on these consoles and on the games.
It's true, but it's the nature of with the kind of game that they're making with such a wide array of things happening, then you're going to have a lot wider array of bugs that are possible. You know, when you have so many options and so many things that you can do, then you're going to have a lot more possibilities of mistakes that'll happen and come up, and maybe individually. You know,
not to take away from you real quick, but then how, talking about the bugs and everything, but how did they not anticipate? All right, so they probably played the game a certain way, you know, with people playing us now, the population playing Cyberpunk, you know, we're going to go in, we're going to go ham, we're going to be quick with everything, you know. A lot of us playing Call of Duty, you know, your reaction's got to be quick and shit. So, you know, we are playing it like almost like Call of Duty with, you know, the shooting and everything running up on people, but then also, you know, like role playing, but then, you know, like GTA a little bit, but then its own type of game. You know, so maybe we're the ones creating it by the way we're playing, because we're kind of like sending the game out of whack.
Well, that actually is the problem in some of these bugs of, like, you know, with some of the bugs of like Jackie not appearing and stuff. It's people just leaving him and then he doesn't load correctly because they're too busy trying to get to the next scene and everything like that. You know, it's It could be that. Those are things, but the bugs, you have to understand, they can be so many in factors because of the density of the code. You know, the amount that's there, because it is a brew for basically, you know, all sorts of glitches. Which is why, look, Skyrim, Fallout 4, like tons of games, like even Uncharted 2 had some bugs at some point. You know, it's just one of those things. When you have such an intense code, you're going to have a lot more possibility for it to jack up.
Well,
you know, they can.
Go ahead, Austin.
All right, well, they can turn around and tell you too. You know what? You can buy the game, but you're going to need a 1 terabyte hard drive, and then you'll get what you want.
I agree. They should be at least telling you what you need to play this game, like they would do with any game. It's just that they promised a lot of people that they, you know, that they really couldn't deliver on.
Well, that's all marketing. You know,
Yeah.
for me, like, you know, it's a convoluted problem. You know, part of me thinks that, oh, it's because of this microwave culture we have these days where everybody wants. I want it now. But hell, Cyberpunk's been in production for 10 fucking years.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like Halo Infinite, which I'm, you know, more and more, their pushback's looking like a good idea, but they've been working it for what, 5 years, 6 years?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's not
but
like
how
they
long
just
they've
started
been
on
working the whole game though?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like,
you know,
how
they
long,
have the experience from them games.
A lot of these games. I mean, think about, and I know it's a new world with the new graphics, and like you said, Sleepy, the new code is completely different. But think about it back in the day. I mean, think about Call of Duty. These cats are coming out with a brand new game every year.
Yeah. And then
You know
again,
what I mean? And I
but
know it's different studios working on them,
it's
so
true.
you could say every other year or whatever. But
and you got to
then
think.
you have games that are 10 years in the making, and they still are incomplete when you get them. I just don't.
Well, then you got to think of the size of the studio too, compared to CD Projekt Red, which isn't a small studio, but it is nowhere near as big as Call of Duty. You know, like
Oh, it's no Treyarch.
yeah, no trade. They got a legion of cats, so they can make something in a year because they have legions of people working on it. Like while CD Projekt Red has a dedicated team that's not exactly small, but they're not huge either. You know, like it's one of those things that and then certain people are more talented developers. You know, like look at Senua Sacrifice, right? Look at that game. Look how good it looks. Look how little mistakes it has going on in it, right? And it's a small indie team. No, it's not a small indie team. I think it's just a smaller. It was on a small budget, and it was done on a small team, but they were very talented.
Well,
I mean, I don't think.
Go ahead.
No, I was just about to say. I mean, I think CD Projekt Red is about as talented as they come.
Well, they've only been working on The Witcher, like literally the only game they've made besides that and Gwent, and everybody loves it so much they've given them the benefit of the doubt. But they've only made The Witcher. They've never made another game.
Yeah, on the DLCs with them, and I mean, it's probably Cyberpunk might have been in the making for 10 years, but how much time did they actually put into it in that 10 years?
Yeah, maybe they were learning other things and stuff like that. Now, not to give them the benefit of the doubt, they're talented developers. It's not that they can't make the game. It's just that there's a lot of different factors people don't take into play, and I think people are just automatically like, oh, it should be this, or no, it shouldn't, it should be this, and everybody's just automatically taking one or the other side without thinking of the nuance of what's actually going on.
Yeah.
Shit, it could have been 5 years of storyboard telling.
It's true. It's true.
It's probably what happened, honestly. But moving on, we're up against our time here, so there's a couple little things, quick snippets that I want to kind of get y'all's opinions on before we exit out of this. But another thing that we spent probably 2 podcasts we were planning on talking about that we haven't is the Game Awards. We spent a lot of time on all the nominees. We're projecting who we think we're going to win and all this kind of stuff, and it definitely did not turn out as we expected. We're super controversial. Come to find out that The Last of Us 2 swept it, which is really shocking to me. I know The Last of Us 1 was amazing, but The Last of Us 2 has gotten nothing but negative feedback from it that I've seen. And they swept the Game Awards. So what are y'all's thoughts on the Game Awards? Do y'all think any games got snubbed, or what do y'all think about The Last of Us 2? What do y'all think about it?
I think the Game Awards in themselves is more of a, I don't know, it feels more like a commercial, because the thing is, when they read off some of the contestants, the nominees and stuff like that, they read them off like super quick. Like anytime they had to come to that, they did it super quick so they can get back to the commercials. And it's like those didn't even matter. It's like the nominees and the awards didn't even matter.
And you had 2 other games on there too that had nothing but positive feedback. I mean, everybody was talking good about them, like Animal Crossing, and you even was talking about what is the Ghost of
Tsushima,
and
Hades and stuff like that.
Yeah,
games and then Last of Us 2 swept, and it obviously seemed like that Sony had a hand in that, but at the same time, I think the Game Awards in themselves just seem like such a facade, because it was just like saying, oh, Hades, Animal Crossing, blah 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 blah, and Hades wins, and then they just went back to the commercial. I feel that too. Yeah, and honestly, would you feel offended if they did your nominee and your category during the pre-show? Would you feel offended?
It's like being on the prelims of a UFC pay-per-view, right?
Yeah, exactly. The pre-show. It's not even the show yet. They did all your categories in the pre-show. So this is the stuff. The show hasn't even started. You're not a part of it. You're there to warm up the crowd. And would you feel kind of like insulted if you were in that category?
Well, I would.
Yeah. That's how, it seems insulting. The Game Awards kind of seems a little insulting.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of it was shocking to me that I haven't seen anybody talking about it really much about how shocking it is that The Last of Us 2 won all, like, swept the Game Awards. I mean, I guess it just has so much fanfare. I mean, I think The Last of Us, the first one, won like over 200 Game of the Year awards or something ridiculous. So it's like, I think it just had so much hype, just like Cyberpunk, except for the opposite. Like, it had so much hype that people are just like, oh, it's awesome.
Yeah,
and it's just like, I don't know.
That doesn't seem like a gamer decision, and also everybody was watching to see the Elden Ring trailer that did not play. So
yeah, they just played like pushback.
Yeah.
To this time.
Yeah, and it's
well, I think also, Sleep, what we talked about before is that the Game Awards, I know you could get online and vote and stuff, but I don't think it was mainly gamers voting for this stuff. I think it was mostly,
Bots.
you know,
no,
it was mostly game developers and game producers.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like the Emmys or whatever. Like, you know, the people don't vote on. I mean, these are all TV producers and movie producers and stuff that are voting on this shit. So,
like you said, Sony's like, hey, all my Sony's employees, get online this time, and vote for this on this.
And honestly,
Sony got all these, like, you know, they're paying people on the side, like they have lobbyists and shit.
Well, I mean, like, it's not that The Last of Us 2 doesn't deserve some awards, just not all of them. It deserves at least 1 or 2 awards for graphics, definitely. Like, you know, for music, soundtrack, something like that, definitely. Story, obviously, you know, you may not feel that way. But it does have high marks in certain things. It's just the fact that winning all of it makes it look like, oh, cool, yeah, sure, thanks. Thanks for playing.
What you just named there is basically the game of the year then.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's Ghost of Tsushima. Now, honestly, I'm going to be real with you. I would say it's Hades. I would say F all those games. It's Hades. Hades is the best game.
I would have probably said Ghost of Tsushima, but yeah. But
fuck
okay,
so
moving on from that, man. Sleepy, I know you're probably not going to have a lot to say about this because you don't have an Xbox or a PC or whatever, so you don't really use Game Pass. But Austin, when we were doing the prep for the podcast, Austin had a really good suggestion for a little segment of you know, because Game Pass is getting huge, man. Like, it really is. It's showing that Xbox's, Microsoft's line of attack is really working. I mean, Game Pass has doubled its subscriptions in 1 month, so it's absolutely ridiculous how much it's grown.
They doubled the games too.
Yeah, and that's probably why they doubled the subscriptions. But you know, I've done this before, and you know, so that's why it kind of spoke to me when you said it, and that's why I wanted to add it in here. Of what Game Pass games have you gotten into that you never imagined that you'd be into it, but you're just playing it because it was free on Game Pass? Austin, why don't you go ahead and start it off, man?
Man, so even though I play the Game Boy version of it, the Dragon Quest, and echoes of you know, exclusion age, dude, dope. Even though, but that's a main type of title game and everything. The other one I would have to say is Audio Namakia or something like that.
I've never heard of that one.
But like, you're just like this robot, this AI, and you're going through and trying to figure out, you know, what happened and all that, and everything's a desert thing. And I mean, there's just a lot to do, and a lot of jumping hidden spaces too. So like, but then again, Cyberpunk came out, then
yeah, it changed everything for me.
There's a lot of games on there. I mean, even like the Need for Speed come out, I did that. I was able to play Jedi Fallen Order. That was pretty good.
Oh yeah, EA Play's changed it, and I've been hearing rumors that Ubisoft Play is going to start adding stuff to it. So you're also going to be able to play all the Ubisoft games on it here soon.
They got any Souls games on there?
No, those are PlayStation exclusives, Sophie.
No, they're not.
The Souls games aren't?
No. Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 are should be multi-plat.
I was about to say Demon Souls is definitely an exclusive.
Oh, Demon Souls and Bloodborne are, but not 1, 2, and 3 and Sekiro. All of them are.
Well, the other cool thing with Game Pass is that all of the Xbox exclusives, at least going forward, are going to be available on Game Pass day one. So, you know, like the Medium and Avowed and Halo Infinite and like all of these other
Gears 5 did.
Well, right, and Gears 5 is too now. I mean, I look at a lot of times. I'll look at my library that I have of all my games I have, and freaking 80% of them are available on Game Pass. Kind of ridiculous. So like, I won't even. I'll probably go buy it just because I'm old school and I want to have the disc or whatever. But I don't even have to buy Halo Infinite. I can just play it on the Game Pass. It's pretty dope. But the game for me that I've played the most, that I've gotten the most entrenched in, that I never. You know, now that I play it, it seems like a shoe-in, and of course I would play that more. You know, but I probably wouldn't in the moment wouldn't have went and bought it at the store. Is Ori and the Will of the Wisp?
Yeah,
dude, I've downloaded that game and I've put some hours into that game. That game is so awesome, and I never would have even tried it out if it wasn't free on Game Pass. You know what I mean? So it's like,
and I told you about it.
Yeah, you did tell me about it, and it's and I was thinking of, you know, he was telling me about it, and I was looking at it. I looked at it at one point, and it was like $30 or something. I was like, man, I ain't paying that. I don't even know if it's good or not. And then randomly it showed up on Game Pass. I was like, oh shit, and I downloaded it, and I've loved it. If it wasn't for some of these other bigger titles that I've been playing, you know, that's coming out or whatever, I'd still be playing it.
You know what? You know what you might like? Hollow Knight. I'm just saying, it's an indie game. Hollow Knight's dope.
Well, I want to put it on my Switch. It's available.
That's a
on
good
Switch
thing
now.
too with Game Pass, man. There is a lot of indie games on there that are really good.
If they got Hollow Knight, I'd do that shit.
It gives indie developers the chance to be able to kind of have their game showcased.
Yeah, you know, like, and it's better than Steam because it gets lost. Like, there's so many games you just get lost in Steam.
Well, you know, and for you, Sleep, you play games on the PC.
Yep. So
you could potentially get you a Game Pass subscription, and then you could play all those Game Pass games on your PC.
Well, iPC's not really good enough to play anything past the indie game, but if they have a lot of good indie games, then that would be nice. Because, like, my PC just couldn't handle, like, you know, a full-on, like, Assassin's Creed or anything like that. No, you can't do it. You know, just can't. Like, maybe when I get a new one here, when that stimmy comes through, bruh.
You fucking with our game. You fucking with our games, Mitch McConnell. You fucking with our games.
For that Xbox, homie.
I'm gonna need you. Go ahead and put that 2 in for Mitch. Go ahead. Quit being a bitch.
What if somebody? Hey, what if somebody swatted Mitch McConnell? You know what I'm saying? How people
like it's.
Hey, hush. Shh. We're about to get facts checked right now.
Nah, yeah, right now. It's like FBI starts to showing up in chat.
What are y'all talking about? What's poppin'?
Ooh woo.
But for real though, I mean, I know gamers all around the world are pissed at Mitch McConnell, but like,
damn, bro. I mean, we getting the 6.
It could have been my PS5, son.
We getting the 6,
no,
but
man.
you know, like,
did you see too? You can't now, man. We can't sit there and illegally stream shit no more. We get caught, it's a felony. So I mean, damn, dude. That's
didn't they?
My shit.
Did they? We can't go to the illegal streaming sites or anything like that for anime or anything like that anymore. They shutting it down after this year, right? Like at the change of the year. So you can't.
It's a felony now if you get caught.
Watching it
for streaming.
They have algorithms that catch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like they used to like shut your internet off if you was using shit like that. Like
they still do.
Everything.
If you're downloading movies and shit and burning them and stuff, they still will shut you down.
But
I've working at AT&T, I've been out on calls where people were like, "What the fuck? I've paid my bill, yada yada yada," and the whole thing is they got flagged and then they shut their internet off because they were pirating movies.
But how about if you're just watching it on a streaming site? Because usually it would be up to the streaming site. They're actually going after the viewers now.
Yeah.
Oh,
if you stream it, like they already have a law. If you download it, if you pirate it and everything and share it, there's already a law.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I was about to say, like, I can understand if you download it, but if you're just streaming it, you're just sharing your stuff. So I don't understand how.
Like, He's talking about not only the people sharing it on the streaming website, but the people that go there to watch it will also be a part. That's some dystopian shit, dude. Like, think about that, bro. That VPN is gonna be so hard now. Like, you're gonna need that VPN now, bro, because think about it. You just watching it, and the feds can be at your door. Now, a lot of this sounds like bullshit because they're not going to actually enforce it because, like. That you think they're going to send the feds to thousands of people?
It's old people trying to make it back in the trying to make old America, but it ain't ever going to be
exactly.
You're going to die here soon anyway.
Exactly.
So,
they're not going to. They haven't thought about how they're going to actually enforce something because, like, if you're talking about millions of people downloading or viewing or streaming shit illegally a day, you're going to send the SWAT out to everyone, motherfucker? Like, it's just dumb. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah.
You already got SWAT. You already got prank SWATs. That's already costing fucking couple $1,000.
Yeah,
not more.
It's ridiculous. What up, Cody?
And some people die.
Hey, what's up, Cody? Man, how's it going? Hey, too bad I can't use my AT&T VPN, huh?
I mean, why not? Why not?
No, because I can't even like get on social media because they're on it.
Well, I got that. My antivirus has a VPN, and then, you know, so I'll be like in Japan a lot.
He transports his soul through his VPN. Should have been born in Japan. But yo, fellas, we are up against our time, man. We are up against our time. So Austin, bro, you came to me the other day. I didn't even know that it happened. But one of Two Death's Own had to kind of go through some tragedy over the holidays, brother. And I wanted to give you a shout out because you've always had a huge heart, man. And I wish that we would have been contacted sooner. As a matter of fact, but we had some real tragedy happening, and I know you wanted to use our platform to kind of help this family out, man. So I just wanted to kind of give you an opportunity to go ahead and shout them out, and if anybody has it in their heart to help.
Yes, Corey Thompson, man. His son's mother, they lost their house and everything. I mean, his daughter's mother lost their house and everything, and and they have she has 3 other younger children, and obviously it was her grandfather's house that he lived in and owned, and they lost everything. And he's been to a lot of our events that we've had, and he's a good guy. He works hard, does everything. To be frank, the only thing he has to really do is take care of his daughter, but he's a bigger man, and he's trying to help out with everything he can for her, the granddad. And he didn't really ask for help. I approached him for this, because a lot of people, and he has major pride, and I'll give that to him. And he doesn't, he doesn't assume take the help. He just goes out there and grinds. But, being a member and, us being a community in this platform we have of, everybody kind of being, social and being there when people in need. You can go to the Facebook page. It's been posted, different ways of giving. There's also a comment there if you can donate even, children's clothes, and, household items or whatever you can, that would be, 100% donated in the need of this family. They lost their house, 2 days before Christmas, so they didn't really even have a Christmas.
Yeah.
So, they couldn't have a Christmas at home. So,
it's just really hard to think about, losing all of your earthly possessions. And I couldn't imagine if my kids, God forbid anything ever happened to me and Tamara, and my kids were living with her and their house burned down, bro. Like that, it would make me sick to my stomach. So, when I saw you messaging me, man, I couldn't help but jump on board with this. So, if you guys, if you want to help out one of our own and kind of help them get back on their feet, you can contact Corey Thomason. Like Austin said, all the posts and everything is on our page. He has his Cash App there. I think they got a GoFundMe in the works, but I'm not 100% sure. He couldn't give me that link for that. But anything, furniture, kids' clothes, anything at all to kind of help them hit the rebound. We got to look out for our own, man. Like you said, this community ain't nothing if we're not looking out for each other. So I appreciate you bringing that forward, Austin. I really do, man.
Well, this is what we were built up upon too, you know. If we don't take care of our community, how do we expect our community to back us? So, I mean, we gotta also be in the forefront. Also, like you know, we did the homeless donations. You know, this is again, you know, the foundation of what to deaf mean. What the community means to deaf. You know.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Absolutely.
We all help each other because the more we help each other, the higher we all get.
That's
Exactly.
100% true, man. This hope is what the community means to two deaf and what two deaf means to the community. That's the ultimate goal. So,
Exactly.
but also on another tip, another announcement we have before the end of our podcast today is I want everyone to remember we have about 1 week left, a
Anonymous
little bit
play.
over about 10 days left. We got our next event on the online series, the 2v2 Call of Duty Gunfight tournament. It will be on Black Ops. It is
Yes, sir.
cross-play, multi-plat. This is a cash tournament, so it's 2v2, so it's $10 a team. Or if you don't have a teammate, you can pay $5 to join the game, to join the tournament. If you win first place, you get $100. If you get second place, you get $50. And if you get third place, you'll get your money back. So we only have 16 spots available. We have about 10 days to fill the remaining spots. So if you think you're legit in Call of Duty, you think you're good or whatever, come show us. Let us know what's up. That is on January 8th at 8 p.m. And all of the information is also on the 2Def page. So make sure you guys go check that out and check out our events. We can't wait to be able to have our events in person again, man. We really had a lot of momentum going before the COVID happened, but these online tournaments are fun, man. I'll tell you, the last tournament we had, it kind of randomly sprung up from our game night, and man, it was a blast. It really was,
Yes,
especially when there's money on the line and there's stuff on the line. It just really kind of just changes the game.
I don't even think it was that. I just think it was just fun altogether. You know, being able to sit there and spectate too, and like you said, just how it kind of flourished. It was just fun just doing it.
Yeah, and it was spur of the moment, so it made it even funner. So definitely check out our tournament, man. If you guys play Call of Duty, hell, join the tournament. You got 16 teams. You could very easily get third and get your money back, and it would just be a night of gaming for you anyway. So definitely come check it out.
Anybody can join.
PC, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. Everybody can join. So definitely check that out.
Limited seats available.
We will also be streaming it. So that will be live on the stream. And then the other thing to look out for is on New Year's Eve, Sleepy and I will be chilling and streaming some games, probably drunk, but we will be streaming some games and having some fun. So you check it out on New Year's Eve as well.
You want to fight me in Gundam Versus?
Bro, I'll whoop your ass, bro.
Oh, bro, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. That's everything I wanted to hear, bro.
No, but we're definitely going to do the damn thing, guys. So, we appreciate you guys joining us here for episode 23. I didn't think we were going to make it, man. We didn't think we were going to make it. We're almost at the quarter century mark here. So, thank you guys for listening and engaging in the chat. Sleepy, you got any closing words you want to use, bro?
I'm going to get so good at plugging events. It's ridiculous, bro. I'm going to be putting it into jokes and shit. That's what you can expect from me. It's the line. But with that being said, we'd like to thank everybody for coming out and interacting in chat and watching us as we did the podcast. We do it for you all, and we love doing it. So please check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Now, coming soon, Spotify. I don't know how far we are on that, but Spotify as well. If you want to hear the podcast and all the other social media outlets, go ahead and check us out. We love you guys, and we'll be seeing you next time.
Later.
2Def.